Welcome back to Manosphere Daily. Let's jump into the video.
Reasons why men are single, still single, after the age of 30. Listen the up. If he is still single after 30, there is a freaking reason. Probably not because he's just picky. For one, he wants a girlfriend. He does. He wants a girlfriend, but he does not want to put in any of the effort to do so. Or God forbid he needs to delete the roster. Number two, which is a giant piss off, he thinks therapy is for the weak, but his communication is absolute shit. Like, sir, if anyone needs therapy, it's you. Number three, he's chasing 22-year-olds or 20-year-olds or 21-year-olds. Baby girl, he is the problem. But not least, he almost dated someone amazing. Now, he either fucked it up, fucked her over, or just wasn't ready at the time. Then now he's freaking scared to try with any other amazing girl. Ladies, please send this to a man if he needs to see it. And fellas, if this hurt your feelings, it was probably meant for you.
Isn't she like over 30 and still single? Sounds like she's projecting and making excuses.
So I talk about what happens when women stay in marriages because of this saying, for better or for worse. And men immediately say, A, well, you're to blame. You shouldn't have chose that partner. Okay? Not, that was a horrible man and he treated you poorly. Okay? We can't accept that a man would ever treat a woman poorly. God forbid. No, it's her fault for choosing him. And I get this is why men will be single. We're choosing to be single. So you are choosing, instead of treating your partner with respect, instead of learning how to not abandon your partner and your partner's needs, and instead of deciding that you will no longer devalue your partner, you would rather be single. That is what you're saying. You are showcasing men's lack of ability to grow as human beings by very specifically saying, we would rather be single than have to learn how to be better partners. We want the ability as men to be able to devalue you as a human being, so much so that you abandon yourself in order to satisfy my needs, because my needs as your partner are way more important than yours. I would rather stay single as a man than pay attention to my partner and love her and care for her and respect her. I would rather stay single as a man than not have the ability to abuse her, because again, she needs to do everything for me. That is what you are saying when you are saying you would rather be single, in context with women saying, we need to have you, like, we want value. We are valuable human beings and you need to treat us as such. That is talking negatively to your male partners, your male friends, your male whatever. You are negatively talking to other men. You are insulting other men, and you think it's an insult to women.
Everything she said can be flipped back on her. Where's your self-awareness and accountability?
Fucking come to.
What has it come to?
If I pull up to your house to make a delivery and you have like a fucking like Blue Lives Matter flag, any of that stupid fucking like Let's Go Brandon shit, like signs about like shooting trespassers, like even like one too many American flags, like your shit is getting left at the end of the driveway. Like, I don't fucking care if it's ice cream.
Just imagine the amount of self-righteousness that a person would actually have to have in order to be able to justify treating other people in such a way just because they don't agree with their opinions.
I'm not coming within 10 feet of your home. I am not getting shot by some like Fox News addled conservative who fucking is just waiting at the door with a rifle. Like, it's not happening.
I really wonder if they could have fit in any more generalizations into that statement.
You have been marked unsafe. Like, this is what it has come to with you people. Like, you are marked unsafe. I'm not fucking coming to your house. It's not happening.
After hearing all that, if one does not feel safe around individuals that support blue lives, value the sanctity of their own property, and support the United States by displaying the American flag, where exactly does one feel safe? The possibilities.
Men are finally at peace, stable, and happy alone, and that's a hard pill to swallow for some. They can't handle that men aren't buying into the drama anymore or seeking validation.
A lot of men today say they are done with dating. They are staying single. They're out of the game, kaputski, because they don't trust women. They don't trust women because women of today are fake. They have fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake hair, fake bodies, even fake personalities. They feel like women don't really love men, generally speaking. They see men as a means to an end. Just deal with men to gain something. And I guess it's similar when women say that they're done with dating because they don't like the nature of men, that they cheat, use women for their bodies, want women to stay in their place. Now men are saying they want to stay single because they don't like the nature of women, that they use men for their money, use their bodies in a different way, as work mules, change my tires, go paint here, move this here, lift this for me. So what are men asking for? They're asking for a little appreciation. They're asking to be loved for who they are, not what they can provide. They want to be seen. Now, is this unrealistic? Getting married. If they have resources and the woman decides she doesn't want to be married to him anymore, she could take half, even if she hasn't contributed to any of it. They don't feel it's worth the risk. Ladies, if you were a man today, would you date women today? Is it worth it? Do men have a point? Are they asking for a lot? To be loved, appreciated, not used, to be seen? What do you guys think?
Above all, we want respect, to be valued, not just tolerated. Stay single, guys, and keep your inner peace.
No, males are not choosing,
Oh, yes, they are.
but I do find it hilarious how they are all like, yeah, we're done with women. That's why we're all single, because we chose to be done with women.
If someone tells you something often enough, maybe you should start believing them because, a lot of men are just completely done with dating.
You guys didn't choose that. You know you didn't choose that.
Oh, but they did. What exactly is so hard to believe about that?
You know that right now women are becoming really picky and not choosing men that all they do is bring a paycheck.
Like I said before, there's a lot of women that are very upset that a lot of guys are actually choosing to be single because they want all of the power for themselves and to be able to dictate who they date. It is incomprehensible to some that guys actually can choose who to date.
Although there are still women out there who will accept that. And I suggest you go find them and leave us alone.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem at all because it's almost like personality types similar to some that we've just seen are almost the very reasons why a lot of guys are choosing to remain single.
Men are choosing single life, and those of us who want real, lasting relationships have left the States and are doing just fine.
I'm just going to talk about this comment that was left on one of my videos, and there's quite a few men that leave similar comments to this, and this proclamation that, this is why men are staying single. And this is obviously not all men, but there is a reason why men do this, and the reason that men say I'm staying single, which in other terms basically means I'm also willing to have a string of hookups that mean nothing to get my own needs satisfied, is that the reason that they do this is because they are not willing to face themselves. Any man that says, I'm staying single is because they do not want to be in a situation that is causing them to face parts of themselves that have been denied, that have been repressed, where they are not taking accountability for the way that they show up in relationships. And obviously, if they're not in relationship or opening themselves up to the right person, they're not going to have this mirroring. And so by isolating and saying, this is why men are staying single, it's just basically another way of saying, I don't want to face myself. Because unfortunately in Western society and sort of in the modern world, men are becoming apathetic, they're becoming more feminized. And when wounded feminine energy shows up in men, it causes them to lack accountability, to not want to take responsibility, to be flighty, to not commit to things, which is automatically a massive turn-off to women that are in a healed feminine energy. And so the sorts of women that they would actually, you know, thrive in relationship with, they're not attracting anyway, because they're not opening themselves up to the possibility that actually they're the ones that are responsible for the type of women that they're actually pulling in the first place. And so it becomes this vicious cycle. But when men say, you know, that they're staying single as an act of, you know, trying to control their circumstances, the reality is underneath that they're feeling very much out of control. And because they don't have a language for communicating, you know, what's going on underneath, because no man that is in a healed masculine energy is going to make this proclamation and decide that he's going to be single for the rest of his life. Because when you look at the way that obviously masculine energy thrives in life, it is to build, it's to continuously have something to move towards, to build some sort of legacy for self, and to feel as if they're creating a foundation, you know, and building something. And so when you're saying, you know, I'm cutting off my own growth, which is obviously what comes from being in a relationship anyway, they're automatically showcasing they're not actually in their masculine. Because to get to the end of your life and basically look back and say, you know, I worked a job that was okay, that paid the bills, sat on my own money so I didn't have to pay anything, you know, for women, and, you know, got to the end of my life with a string of hookups. You look back at that as a legacy for a male, and the level of regret that would come with that is not going to feel good. So if a man makes this proclamation, then this is what he really means. And emotional fulfillment in life comes from the depth of intimacy we have with our partners, with the people that are closest to us. And when we cut ourselves off from that and the possibility of exploring that, we don't live an emotionally fulfilling life. We live a life that's filled with surface level distractions, surface level projections that don't actually lean into anything of depth. And so when a man says this, he's likely very much in his feminine, in an apathetic energy where he doesn't want to commit to things. And so within a relationship, he's not going to take accountability. This is obviously very different for a man that chooses to stay single until the right person comes along and works on himself in the meantime. This is an attribute of a healthy masculine male, and a man that's able to concentrate and focus his energy in such a way that's actually going to be really supportive and conducive once the right partner shows up, or once he's ready to take that step with the right partner. And this is the sort of dynamic and mentality that actually breeds and calls in soul connection as well, because the man is anchored into his masculine energy as opposed to dismissing the concept of relationship altogether, which is naturally a byproduct of being very wounded. And soul connection in and of itself can only come in when you are truly connected to yourself, whether you're male or female. So if you don't have a deep understanding of, you know, your own psyche, the way that you operate, of your own triggers, where you're not taking accountability and reconciling that internally, you're not actually in a position to attract in what would be like a deep soul connection anyway. So all of these things are interconnected. They all play into one another. But the difference is that when you are connected to self, you see the mirroring and the divinity in others. When you are not connected to yourself, you see through the eyes of separation, of somebody else wanting to take from you, as opposed to being with an open and generous heart that actually allows you to feel the fullness of what a relationship can actually bring for you.
Hi, guys. Staying single. Not interested in casual hookups or relationships because we tire of the games and guessing what she wants instead of straightforward communication. Keep on with the gaslighting, though. It's hilarious how blaming everything except yourself is now feminine energy. That explains this whole video.
This idea of the male loneliness epidemic, I think needs to be looked at. Some of these guys are lonely, that's true, but part of the reason is that they're looking at their options and they're like, I can't do it. Like, this is not appealing to me anymore. So they're feeling lonely. There is a segment of guys that are feeling lonely because they don't want you anymore. Like, they're not drawn to you anymore. So they would love to be with a woman who acts like a woman, who's feminine, who's respectful, who's loyal, who's, you know, not going to cheat, who's not going to, you know, their phone's not going to be, you know, shady as you know what, who's not going to be posting like all naked pictures online all the time looking for male attention while you got a boyfriend here that, you know, you got one foot out the door, who's not going to feel like, you know, you can't ask her what hey, like, you know, what do you want to bring to the relationship? How dare you? You know, they're looking for like a quality woman and they don't see it. So a lot of those men, it's not all guys who are just trying to seal the deal and can't make it happen. Is that some of it? Sure. But there's also guys who could seal the deal and don't want to. They're just like, well, I'm going to spend a boatload of money. I'm going to spend a boatload of time. And like, what's in it for me? Really, at the end of the day, am I getting any of my boxes checked in this? So they're choosing to just be lonely. And just because they're like, where are all the good women? Where have they gone?
Being alone beats being miserable any day. Facts. We're chasing inner peace, self-love, and self-sufficiency.
Women are scared of happily single men. You want to know why? Let's get into it. Being happily single as a man makes you more appealing. Men that don't need to be in a relationship. Men that have high standards. Men that don't chase women. They chase in purpose. This makes women wonder if that man is actually interested in them, and will in turn, y'all listen to this, increase the value of that man and his expressed interest in their minds.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.